for those drivers who are thinking of voting yes on 22, you really have to do the math, right? You really have to break this down. What does Uber's Prop 22 say versus what is the current law, right, under the AB5? Now, under AB5, not even factored into this math here is what people are making on the multiplier. The numbers are actually far, far higher than the comparison, right, under the current law if you add the multiplier. But just face value, let's compare the numbers. So you are basically voting to earn less if you are going for yes on 22. So for example, over 2 weeks, they ran this example. They sent this out, right? A driver in Los Angeles, he is en route to pickups and on trip for 500 miles. So what they are not calculating in is that you're actually spending a lot of time, and you know this, you're spending a lot of time driving to the individual to pick them up, right? You have a lot of downtime. What needs to be counted is when you are on the app actually conducting miles, not just driven client miles, passenger miles, but actually also include the numbers to go and pick up that individual. So for a total of on route and on trip hours of 20 hours, on route pickups and on trip miles, they calculated this based on 500 miles, right? This is the email that you got, and also based on the minimum wage of Los Angeles, $13 per hour. So under Uber and Lyft's Prop 22, they drop, right, the mile rate to 30 cents. 30 cents, right? And that is for pickups and on-trip miles only. Versus if you go the other side here, right, the current 58 cents per mile for all app on miles. You have to look at all the app on miles to the individual, picking up the individual and then taking them to the destination, right? So on the calculation that Uber sent out, the 30 cents multiplied by the 500 miles is $150. The minimum hourly wage, $13 per hour. Uber promises 120% of minimum for picking up and trip only, right? So that's where they calculate their $13 an hour. So it's 1.2 times $13 times 20 hours is $312. And that brings you to a total, there it is, of $462 under yes on Prop 22. Now we got to go over to the current law, right? And look at the numbers on this side here with AB5 in effect. That's 58 cents per mile. This is what basically the state is pushing for. You're not losing your flexibility. You can still drive with whomever you want. You can still drive whenever you want. You still have that flexibility, but you're earning way, way more. Remember, in their model with 500 miles, you're earning $462. Am I going to drive from LA to Vegas and back, pay for the gas, minimum $60 of gas, minimum, right? And wear and tear of my car for $462? Absolutely not. But under the current law, right, if you were to vote no on 22, 58 cents times the 500 miles is $290, and then 58 cents times 125 miles equals $78.13, $368, right? $13 per hour for all app on time. Drivers average 60% occupancy, so 20 hours driven for pickup, and trip time is 32 hours total time. So that's 13 times 32 hours equals 416. Add that to the 368 and you get to $784, which is $322 more than the yes on prop, right? That's a lot of money, going from 462 to 784. We're just using their model, their example, right? But with AB5, you now also have further benefits, right? You can choose which trips you want to take or decline. And the most important things that on very, very busy periods or peak driving times, you can actually nominate your rates and put the multiplier. So that's not even added to that. That's why guys like Paul Figueroa and Tom Gibson make $2,500 a month under the AB5, right? So those people that want to vote yes on 22, understand you're going to be shooting yourself in the foot, right? especially when it comes to the math, right? And it's just it's just that too many people think that they are independent contractors, right? Because you have the flexibility, you can choose with if you could choose Lyft, Uber, both, and you think you're independent contractors, but that is not what a true independent contractor is able to do. You should be able to set your rates, decline trips, not fear retaliation, and have all those extras. So plus, under the current law, we get unemployment even when there isn't a pandemic, workers' compensation, paid sick days and family leave, pay less taxes. That's 7.5% self-employment tax is Social Security they're required to pay under the current law. They are, right? It's not even factored into the above. These are all the extras, right? And we have the right to form our own union and negotiate a legally enforceable contract with the company so they can't change the rules or the pay on a whim. That's what they're doing all the time, right? They're hopping all over the place. And, this is their promise now in November. What if they adjust those rates, right? And like, screw this, we're gonna go even further down. So I'm just saying, you got to really do the math here, folks, and also understand that you are not true independent contractors. You don't have the ability to pick and choose whichever trip you wish and set your own rates. And this is California, so we're not going to stop until we get this for every single state, every single city, every single international city. So when it comes to November, again, do the math and make sure you know what you're voting on. Have a great day.